I'm thinking about removing my spine. I feel like it's holding me back. Tubby.
Welcome back, my creative cosmonauts. 'Tis I, your guru of games, your shepherd of shows, your master of movies, and your mo capitan of cosplay. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this! Before we get started, hit the like button, share this or your favorite episode to help the show grow, and hit that notification button. Stigma, the mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person, aka stigma, can really wreak havoc on the world of creativity and art. Like the expression, you should never, ever meet your heroes. I've personally had a few bad moments where I've met a celebrity and it was kind of disappointing. And we've all heard the rumors about certain actors you should definitely not meet. Like, or my fun experience was with Jackie Earle Haley. We were inside an elevator, I was getting on, and I was like,
I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
He laughed, he giggled, we took pictures, it was awesome. A few months later, I see him at the Spike Screaming Awards, I'm sitting there right in the front, and then he comes out presenting award, I was like, Jackie! He looks at me, he's like, I was like, hi. It was great, good moments. I had a few bad encounters with that actor, but the person that really should tell that story, because he was there, is Elliot, which he's going to be on later on in the show. He can tell you that story. I just happen to know an amazing, talented actor, dancer, model, and scientist that had met her childhood hero on set and had the best experience. But before we get into that, it is time for...
Hey there, cosmonauts. This is Props to History.
Hey there, Props to History here at Prop Store of LA with my friend Chuck of
Hello.
Prop Store. This is Indy's actual practical live fire revolver from Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is one of two.
One of two, that's right.
That came from Bapty Armories in the UK.
Yep, and we know that because of the serial number on the bottom.
Yep, the serial number, because the weapon can't be traced by its serial number, we know that this is one of those firearms. Now deactivated, it can no longer fire.
And I think if you want something from any of the Indiana Jones films, I think the things you think of are the hat, the whip, the jacket, and the revolver.
Yeah, and
that's
the revolver.
Right.
Yeah, so I have no words, truth be told. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and that I'm holding the actual live fire pistol from Indiana Jones. Thank you, Chuck.
Hey, glad you could be here to experience this.
Yeah, props to history.
Okay, so before the strike happened, I had the privilege to sit down with Olivia Youngers, who has had a very cool encounter with a celebrity. So let's check it out. Cut into the interview. I'm gonna fire my editor, I swear to God.
Which actor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine appeared in the Hellraiser franchise? A. Avery Brooks. B. Terry Farrell. C. Michael Dorn. D. Andrew Robinson. Stay tuned after the interview for the answer.
I am here with the amazing, talented, crazy, out of this world, Olivia. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Let's start with
Down the list.
What are you a fan of? I know Star Trek and Star Wars.
So Star Trek and Star Wars, in case you couldn't tell. Yes, huge fan. Star Trek is probably my first fandom.
Yeah.
That's my number one fandom if I had to pick one.
Okay.
But my favorite movie is Back to the Future. Pretty much anything set in space, I'm a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And fantasy and just general nerd things. You know, the stuff that got you picked on in school back in the 90s.
You're dead, weird.
But now is very cool.
Like, what was your first movie?
Well, I like to say it started in the womb because my mother was a huge Star Trek fan and she watched it while she was pregnant with me. So I grew up in a house full of Star Trek, full of kind of nerdy-ish pursuits, and then found The Hobbit in the library in 4th grade and fell in love with all of LOTR and that whole fandom. And, you know, Sci-Fi Channel was just always on, so it's kind of impossible to avoid in my house.
That's awesome. So what came first? The Trek, not the wars.
Trek did come before the wars, but you know what? We love all in this house.
That's good. Good. And how about Star Wars?
So that was my dad, and he got me into that, and he purchased the VHS set. So I got to see the original cut, and I was absolutely in love. Return of the Jedi was my favorite movie, which for a long time got you made fun of, I think.
I mean,
But I was a kid, you know, and Ewoks were everything. Cannibals,
well,
they're
they're not
teddy
the
bear.
They're teddy bears. They're different species, so they can eat whatever they
They're
want.
teddy bear cannibals.
Yeah.
They're just, you know, they're cute and they eat the bad guys.
For those at home that haven't watched the original yet, there's a song at the end that we all grew up with love.
Yes.
And it got changed. But the song changed. That was...
Getting rid of the song, the Yubna.
Yeah, no.
That hurts.
Does.
It hurts, and it's just wrong to watch that movie without that song.
It's like doo doo doo.
I know.
I'm like, come on, dude.
I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, when you're throwing a party after overthrowing evil warlords, you're not going to be playing like Tchaikovsky. Well, maybe, but odds are you're going to be playing something more like Cardi B. Yeah, that would be good.
So cosplay.
Yes. So I think like a lot of kids, Halloween was my favorite time of year. I think most cosplayers, Halloween is the thing that starts making you go, why can't I just do this all the time? I have all these costumes, why not just run around the house wearing them? And then I went to my first convention as a kid and realized people get dressed up in costumes and go to these things all the time. And so then that just set me down the cosplay path.
What have you done? What hurts?
7 of 9 is one of my go-tos along with Emma Frost, the X-Men. Those are probably my 2 favorites. And then I've done everything from Vanellope, from Wreck-It Ralph, a Barbie cosplay from the Toy Story films. I have an Ellie Sattler cosplay from Jurassic Park. I have so many different like Star Trek corsets and Star Trek costumes.
It's not just one thing.
It's not just one thing, it's everything. I have a Catwoman costume from Michelle Pfeiffer's run as Catwoman. Yep, and what else? I have Starlight from The Boys.
Okay.
I pulled that one out
I
recently.
see that.
Yeah,
I see that.
that one was really fun.
You're not about the women.
I desperately want to do Rogue, but I just haven't been able to commit to that costume yet, because she's one of my favorites.
So when did you get into acting?
Again, I think that was something that I always loved. You know, cosplay always was kind of, you love playing these characters, and in school I always loved doing school plays, and I did drama and theater, but I chose to pursue a degree in science instead for a while. But it was always there. I would always find myself drawn to doing improv classes or a theater pub when I lived in San Francisco. And then actually the cosplay and the acting came together for a little web show you may have heard of called The Guild, Felicia Day's show.
Come on, you guys. We're gonna have so much fun at this convention. I mean, we're gonna play the game, get to know each other better.
They needed extras for season 5, lots of extras, because that was their convention season. And they needed people who had cosplay that wasn't branded. It's like, screw it, I'm gonna apply. And I got a message back and went down and made tons of friends in LA and realized, yeah, okay, eventually someday I wanna come do this.
Boom, she's on Picard. I mean, like,
Many years later, but yes, Star Trek's a great vehicle.
I spit out my water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, in bed. It's Olivia. Oh my God.
Yes, a very injured me.
You may have lost a bit of blood, but there's some good news. We got plenty. So you may absolutely be fine, I promise.
Thank you.
Okay, I've heard. So you said you dressed up as 7 of 9.
Yes,
And you got a chance to meet
Jerry Ryan,
the 7 of 9.
7.
How old are you?
So when I first met her, I was a kid, maybe, again, like 9 or 10. I went to my first convention so I could meet her. I was in Wisconsin with my grandparents, and I saw an ad in the paper, and I saw her name. And I went to them and I said, can we go to this, please, please, please? And my dad's family, aside from my dad, were not very nerdy. They had no idea what Star Trek was. And they were like, well, only if your cousin's interested. So I sat him down and brainwashed him until he started liking it. And so they took us and I got to meet her as, you know, a kid. And then I got booked on Star Trek Picard season 3 and got to meet her again as an adult.
How was that day? Like, what was that conversation?
That day was kind of embarrassing. So it was my first day on set. I was so determined to be a professional actress and not be the person who was being a fangirl. And get to set, and John Frakes, who plays Riker, was directing that episode.
I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, Riker, I can't do this.
Right?
I can't do this.
And I found out, oh, this is a TNG season. So people who grew up like as my family as a kid that I watched are going to be on this show. It's not just Patrick Stewart and Jerry Ryan. And so I was already just squashing everything inside me that just wanted to freak out. And I get to set, and Riker, John Frakes, immediately goes, so who's your favorite character? Tell me. It was very adorable. And I was like, well, you know, 7 of 9, which is a safe answer, because she's not part of the TNG cast. And he immediately went, no, I don't care about that. Tell me who's your favorite TNG character. To which I diplomatically said, Spot. Spot is my favorite TNG character. Because no one can get mad at you if your favorite character is the cat. It was Guinan, by the way. But but yeah, so Jerry came on to set halfway through the day, and someone had told her that I was a huge fan. And so she walked up to the little pen where they had the actors sitting, and she went, someone named Olivia here, I'm supposed to take a picture with her? And I just wanted to slink down into my chair.
Name was said out the mouth.
She said my name. And I was like, no, you really don't have to do that. I was like, it's just because you were a bit, And so we were talking, and I told her the story about how I went to my first convention in order to meet her, and I had a picture, and she was like, well, then we have to get a photo. So she was really lovely.
It's crazy. So you were like basically in 2 episodes.
Yes, I got to be in 2 episodes, which was great. So technically I am a recurring character.
Awesome. If you guys check it out, please tell me. And down below, tell me who's your favorite character from Star Trek. All of them. Did you applied for science? You went to school for?
Yes. So I actually have a degree in biotech. Within.
Science officer.
Yes, I was a science officer on Star Trek, and I am a science officer in real life. So I run drug trials for cancer studies.
How's that going? That's must be really tough.
It's tough. It's a lot of work. It's hard work, but I've been doing that for a while now, and it's nice to know that at the end of the day, I don't interact with patients directly. That would be very unethical since I work on the drugs themselves. But it's nice to know when you hear, you see results and you see people's lives being extended. That's really, really cool.
This other thing I want to bring up is really controversial for some people. Some people don't know the correct term, or they think it's negative. It's not. Pole dancing?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So there's different things you can call it, honestly, depending on what you do. So I do pole dancing. I do aerial arts in general, so I lump pole under what I call aerial, like in the air. There's lyra, which is the hoop, if you've ever seen performers on a hoop in the air.
There's a lot of golf clubs. And Red Ferris, too.
And Cirque du Soleil has it. And there are silk performers who do silks. And it's also sometimes referred to as circus arts. But pole dancing specifically relates to when you're on the pole. And pole dancers can be strippers or not. There's a lot of negative connotations around pole dancing, especially because people want to demonize strippers. And even though I don't work as a stripper, I have a lot of friends, teachers even, who are. And I think it's important that the community stand together. What strippers do is a whole other career, and there's a lot of hard work that they have to do. But so pole dancing itself kind of gets lumped in with that, especially because when you see pole dancers, you see skin. There's a reason for that, though. It is not just because we want to look hot, although looking hot is a lot of fun. You actually need adhesion. So there's a lot of science actually behind how pole dancing works.
Tell me.
First of all, there's physics. The pole can either be static and not moving, or it can be set to spin. And then when it spins, you need to control the rotation as you're doing it. Yes, it can spin on its own, which actually makes things in some ways harder and some things easier, depending on what kind of trick you're doing. Because then, of course, you have to deal with not getting dizzy, and you have to deal with not flying off the pole. And then you have to control the speed of the spin, because the faster it goes, the harder it can be to move your bodies. And then for the adhesion, you need your skin in order to stick, essentially, to the pole. Otherwise, you will slide right down.
I remember as a kid, slide down the pole. How long have you been doing it?
4 years.
4 years?
Yep, 4 years. I started in 2019, and then in 2020, the pandemic came.
Yes.
So I had to take a little bit of a step back on my training, but I did eventually get my own pole at home and one that I can travel with, so that way I can keep practicing. And I've added in Lyra, which is the hoop, now into my training, which is also a lot of fun. Very different beast. Right now, the new big thing is flying pole, which, yes, it is essentially...
Like Monkey King flying pole?
No, it is a pole that is suspended from the ceiling, but not attached at the bottom.
Okay, that's scary.
So it both rotates around and then in a pendulum. So you have 2 different rotations to control, and you're up in the air. Possible you could fling yourself off and go flying. So it's pretty dangerous, but it's a lot of fun.
So if somebody was, like somebody at home is interested in getting to that field, what direction would you point them? Where would you tell them to go?
I would say look nearby for a pole studio or a circus arts school.
Sweet. Bada bing, bada boom.
Which actor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine appeared in the Hellraiser franchise? A. Avery Brooks. B. Terry Farrell. C. Michael Dorn. D. Andrew Robinson. And the answer is B. Terry Farrell and D. Andrew Robinson. Andrew Robinson played Larry in the first Hellraiser film in 1987. And Terry Farrell played Joey Summerskill in Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth in 1992.
Absolutely amazing. Olivia, you're just another one of those badass people in my book of amazing people. So thank you so much for your time. Head over to our Patreon. You can get early access to our new episodes by becoming a Cosmonaut Patreon member. New stuff is coming, so you don't want to miss out on exclusive stuff and other stuff that we can't put on here. Please show some love to Olivia and all of her socials. Apologies to Elliot. We ran out of time, bro. Sorry. Don't hate me. Next time, I swear. Catch your favorite episodes on Spotify now in case you can't watch, but you like to listen. You can also help us by using the promo code COSMOE to get 10% off your purchase at w.gg and get an amazing energy supplement for everyday multitasking life. All proceeds go to the show so I can take you to amazing places and meet extraordinary people. I want to give you access and the know-how to everything you might be curious about. Drop a comment down below. Let's communicate. Ask me questions. Come on. No one's asking me anything. Please, I'm getting lonely. I'm reading these things. I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks for the compliment, but give me a question and I'll answer it on the next episode. Huh? Tell me what you want. Tell me what you really, really want. I wanna. Make good decisions. Power to the strike. And remember, the world can be a better place with love, peace, chicken, and grease. Thank you for watching. Till next time, America. I just don't know really how to end these things, and I'm just like sitting here ranting and whatnot while my producer and the editor and these other people in the fucking kitchen are just looking at me or not even really paying attention to me. How come you're not paying attention to me? What the? Fuck. Anyways, love you. Drink some dummy!
Thanks for watching and subscribing. You guys are the best. Oh, check out this clip next, huh? Yeah. Or that one. I mean, check them both out while you're at it. Why not?